Bengals fall to 3-8 after dropping one here at Paycor Stadium to the New England Patriots. And it was a game the Bengals had a chance to win right at the end. The Patriots came into this game 9-2, the AFC's best team. Didn't really feel like the Bengals were going to have a shot in this one. And then Cincinnati's defense played a much better game today. New England didn't play their best game. And right at the end, with 45 seconds to go, Joe Flacco had this team in a position to win the game. But ultimately, the Bengals weren't able to convert on those final third and fourth downs and ended up having to give the ball back to the Patriots, and they were able to win the game. But the Bengals had a chance. The good news is there was some improvement from the defense today, and that's encouraging to see after just weeks of just really poor performance on that side of the ball. But as Zach Taylor said, it's a sickening feeling. Don't really win anything for having that type of effort. It is a results-based business here, and the Bengals are staring at 3-8 with a game against the Baltimore Ravens on Thanksgiving coming up. The biggest question about this Bengals team right now, with the season essentially lost at 3-8, is when will Joe Burrow play and why the organization is going to give Burrow a chance to play again this season, despite it being essentially a lost season. I asked Zach Taylor that today, and he said because we are all about winning. They feel like Joe Burrow gives them the best chance to win, and Taylor's specific quote to me was, "Winning is important. We want to win. Joe gives us a great chance to win." They also really want to reward Burrow for how hard he's worked to get himself in a position to play a lot earlier than most expected when he underwent that toe surgery. So it sure felt like, with Zach Taylor's response and Joe Flacco talking about the emotions of knowing his time as a starter could be up, it sure feels like leaving here today, Joe Burrow is going to make his return against the Ravens. That is not a final statement. We still have a couple days to get updates from Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow if he is going to start. But it just felt like that was the case. Flacco very much, it felt like a appreciation for the time that he has as the starter. And he said it is an interesting balance because he's not losing his job for performance or health. He's losing his job for when it happens just because the guy in front of him that's been on the sideline with that injured toe is this franchise. So I'll have more on that in a story here on Cincinnati.com. But yeah, another loss for the Bengals. Not much has changed here. Of course, better performance on the defensive side of the ball, like I said, but offense just really wasn't able to do enough and take advantage of the job the defense did today, and that's really been the story of the Bengals season. Not good enough complementary football. So they will quickly have to turn the page because they have just a few days to get ready for the Ravens, who won today, and they now move to 6-5 with that Thursday night game against the Bengals up next, and we will see if that will be Joe Burrow's return to starting for the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, that is it for some updates here at Paycor Stadium. Be sure to keep it at Cincinnati.com for all of your coverage of the Bengals.